Do we really have free will, or is our destiny already set in stone? That's our topic for today, but before we get started, if you're enjoying this content, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Helps me out a lot, and leave me a comment as well. Let me know what your experience and your understanding is when it comes to this very complex topic. I would love to hear your thoughts. All right. Now, the first time I remember being exposed to this conundrum is growing up in the Christian church. And in the church, there's this ongoing debate about free will versus predestination. Is my life and my destiny the sum total of my choices and my choices alone? Or is everything sort of preset by God, by some higher power who controls all things and directs my fate? And interestingly, if you read the Bible, you can find passages that seem to support both worldviews. And where this gets very interesting, I've always thought, is when it comes to salvation or, quote, being saved. Because if we believe in free will alone, we must admit if I am saved and other people are not, it's because of my choices, because I made better choices. I am better than others. I'm smarter, wiser, holier, and the reason I was able to give my life to God is because I was more aware and enlightened. And so there's this sort of implied superiority that is not very becoming. It's a little bit frowned upon, especially in church communities, to believe this sort of thing. And so that's not a great option. But on the other hand, if you believe in predestination, then we're forced to admit that some people are saved and some people are not because God chose for it to be that way. In other words, God chose a privileged few. He predestined some to go to heaven and sentenced others to burn in hell forever before we were even born. And so that's an interesting one too. No matter which side you subscribe to, you are kind of stuck in a way. And so this topic tends to be sort of sidestepped in a lot of church communities because of the cognitive dissonance that it brings up. And this argument always turned me off. It was very off-putting. I knew something wasn't right about it. And so as I got older, I started to look more into the science. What did science say? I have a very scientific mind. My education is in physics, and so I started to look at the science. And scientists, if you're scientifically minded, you know scientists love a deterministic worldview, that if you have a set of conditions and you know these conditions here, you'll be able to predict the exact outcome here. And this is what I wanted too. I wanted a deterministic universe. But as we know, modern science, quantum physics, is now proving that nothing is set. Nothing is determined. Everything is in a state of flux and uncertainty and probability, and that everything in this universe is choice. It's our choice of what we want to create and experience. And so now, having been through a big spiritual awakening over the past few years, this is what I believe to be true, is that everything in this universe is choice, that we choose to come here. We choose our soul's path. We get to choose our own adventure for the thrills that we want to have, but also to maximize our growth. And so I believe choice or free will is the highest truth. But I think this doesn't mean that there isn't an element of destiny or fate. And to kind of take it back to the old church argument of free will versus predestination, I actually think that they are both true depending on which viewpoint you are looking at it from. And here's what I mean. As I like to talk about a lot, and as those of you who are very spiritually inclined will be aware of, linear time doesn't exist in the way that the brain perceives it. In other words, there really is no past, present, future. There is only the present. Everything is happening right now. And so your entire life is all unfolding in one eternal moment of time. All of your choices, all your decisions, every experience you want to have, the dream life you want to be living, you're living it now. Past, present, future, all happening right here, right now. The entire book already exists. And so if you're looking at it from the point of view of your soul or your higher self, everything is happening exactly according to plan. It's all unfolding right here, right now, perfectly. And so you could say, if you're looking at it from a point of view outside of time, predestination is true because it's all happening at the same time. There is no past, present, or future. There's no choice, therefore. And so predestination is true. But if we were all-knowing, omniscient, omnipresent, all-powerful beings, it wouldn't be much of an adventure. There wouldn't really be anything to experience if we knew who we truly were, if we knew that we were these infinite, eternal, all-powerful beings. And so we must sort of place these limitations or constraints on ourselves. We must place the constraint of time so we can experience choice, the cause and effect of our choices, so we can experience the unfolding of ourselves, of our soul, through the process of time. And so you can say that if you are looking at it from the point of view of the brain or within linear time, then free will is the highest choice. It's the highest truth, because that is why we're here. It's to experience the progression, the growth of ourselves, the expansion of ourselves. If we want to experience something for the first time or learn something for the first time, we must pretend that we don't know. If we want to experience the remembrance of who we are in all our soul's glory, we have to, therefore, forget temporarily who we are. And that is what I believe we're doing here, is we choose to forget so we could have this experience. And ultimately, this experience is defined by choice or by free will. So if you're viewing it from the place of the soul or the higher self, then predestination is true. But if you're viewing it from the place of the human being within linear time, then free will is the highest truth. Both are true. Now, here's the caveat when it comes to free will. Most of us think we're living out of our free will, but we're really not. What we're really operating out of is our pre-programmed beliefs, our worldviews, our attitudes, our judgments, our prejudices, the traumas that have shaped us into the person that we are today. Maybe you have a friend or a family member where you know if something happens or if somebody says something to this person, you know exactly how they're going to react. You know exactly what they're going to say. You know what they're going to do. You know what kind of mood they're going to be in for the rest of the day. It's like clockwork, right? And this is what I mean when I say that we're not living from a place of our soul's free will, is that most of us have become these pre-programmed machines, almost like robots, where if we experience this stimulus over here, it is all but certain we're going to react in a certain way over here after that happens. It's, if you carry around past wounds or traumas of rejection, if somebody says something that insinuates that they're rejecting you, automatically you go to that emotional place of I'm being rejected. Maybe you react back and you say something that you shouldn't say. You say something to that coworker. Maybe somebody cuts you off in traffic and the words fly out of your mouth before you even know that you're saying them. The middle finger flies up. All of these behaviors that we don't even think about doing, but we react to certain situations in a certain way. And if you refer to scientists and people who study human behavior, they'll tell you that over 90% of who we are, of our actions and our behaviors every day, are driven by these unconscious programs where we are just operating completely on autopilot without any real choice or awareness of what we're doing, of what we're saying. And so this is what we do. We react. We have been so programmed in our modern day to live from a place of reaction. We wake up in the morning, we check our phone right away, we see the email from our boss and all this, just like that. We start our day off in a crummy mood, or we roll over, we get out of bed, we check Instagram, we see all these people on vacation living this amazing life, and just like that, we start our day depressed because of everything we don't have. And so we go through the rest of our day reactive. We just react without thinking to other people and the situations that present themselves. And so really this is, it's about moving from a place of reaction to a place of responding. And people who study other successful people will say that a common personality trait, a common characteristic that all successful people share is that they respond to situations. They don't react. They respond, which means that they're able to take in what's presenting itself, all the things, the stimuli around them. They process it in their internal environment, and they can make a conscious choice and a decision about how do I want to take an aligned action moving forward? How do I want to respond appropriately? What steps do I want to take that will actually move me towards my goals, rather than reacting in the same way that I always do and living my entire life as the same person? So it's really becoming the conscious creator of yourself and your life by learning to respond rather than react and be completely out of control of all the various things that we have going on in our life. And so this is the shift from reaction to responding. And responding means we can live from a place of expressing our free will, living in alignment with our soul's deepest desires. And a lot of this is about doing the inner healing. It's about healing those inner wounds and those pain points that always seem to cause us to be triggered when somebody says a certain thing, or when something doesn't go our way, when we meet setbacks and failures. It's always those same pain points and those same triggers that present themselves and cause us to react and kind of spiral downhill. And so it is about this journey, this process of inner healing, about going within, taking time to be in silence, to become familiar with your thoughts, your emotions, become familiar with feeling your emotions and acknowledging them, and using the challenges, the struggles, all the triggers, the people, the relationships as a means of self-healing and self-realization to push you towards the person that you are destined to become, to propel you into that future where you are this transformed person because of all of the struggles and challenges you've been through and overcome. And the more you could do this, the more you will live more and more from a place of expressing your true self, your authentic self. And this is what free will is. It's to make that conscious choice of who you want to become in spite of all the things outside of you who are telling you that you can't do it, you can't be this, you can't be that, all the things that seem to hold you back. But when you're fully healed and you've overcome yourself and you've overcome your emotions, you're no longer holding yourself back, and you can just continue on this path of soul expansion and growth, and you'll just start to feel more and more like yourself, like the person that you've always wanted to be. You'll attract more positive situations, more positive people. You'll attract your desires more effortlessly, all because of this inner awareness and this inner healing. And so this is the path toward freedom, toward free will, toward the smoothest path of ease and grace into your ultimate destiny and your service to humanity, your service to others, your fullest and greatest happiness. And so use all the events, all the people, the relationships of your life in a positive way. Know that everything is happening for you, for your greatest growth. And you may not see it, you may not recognize it now, but in hindsight, it always becomes clear. And so if you would like to be proactive about this healing, if you'd like to go within your psyche, your subconscious, your emotional body, and start this process of healing, I have a free guided meditation to heal your inner child. I'll put the information in the description down below. It's this sort of thing can be an incredibly powerful experience. I know it is every time that I do it, but you can really start to reprogram your subconscious and become aware of the things that have been holding you back, so you can step into your true freedom. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching to work through this process with me over an extended period of time, I do have openings available. I'll put that information in the description as well. I just want to thank you for joining me today. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate your time, your engagement, your support. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.